I wanted to point at these idea that you had before, where you said the audience are the subjects of the film, specifically with these short, and if you could talk about it a little more. There's all these like blank spaces where we...
Right, well that's the game of censorship, and all the documents that come out of, for instance, Iraq, but everywhere else, have these whiteouts, usually they're blackouts, but which is just another level of joke that Grayson is making. Joke, but a very serious joke about loss. Why I say the audience is the actual subject of all these films, because it's us who heard all that talk for years and who bought it because we didn't think hard about it. Here is a wonderful demonstration of the inanity and the deceptiveness and the gross lies of our own government's talk of, why we go to war and how everything's going to be all right in the end. So it's us who has to rethink who we are in the face of these wars, in the face of the lies. We have to meet that again somehow because of what Grayson's done in this film. All right? But did anybody have... It's the greatest anti-doc in the world. I think it's... And then the one thing that may be apparent, may not, this whole game he plays where his assistant, who's a native Iraqi, they go up on the roof sometimes. Grayson's gay and very out, and many of his films are gay films. So very subtly he's suggesting that maybe one of the reasons this project was not so successful was that the boy from Wichita, 24-year-old soldier, and his lover spent too much time on the roof, Anyway, on it goes, and that's what the world is like today, right? That is the language that we swim in. This is the absurdities. You could say that this I want to try and here and there talk about the various strategies that post-realist films use. This one I would say is absurdify. He takes this subject and pushes it towards the absurd where it can't be. And yet the language goes on, the names of the films go on, all this little bit of information he shares, but it's all to push the language to the brink until it falls over and it is destroyed. So also notice he uses the list, which is a wonderful form for a post-realist to think about putting things in a list. In other words, totally avoiding narrative or even the way a rhetorical argument, which most documentaries use, which they borrowed from journalism. Because of this, and this we learn, and that we learn from this person, that we can make the argument that. So this list is just one of hundreds, a technique to stay out of narrative and stay out of rhetoric and tell another way, in this case, a list. He pressures the form, he puts pressure on the informational film. There were these 6 scraps left, blah, 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 blah. And he distorts it and pushes it so that the distortions grow, and then it's visible. The language and the meaning and the intention of the language, it becomes visible to us who watch the film. I've seen it 10 times. I'm still watching it. The other thing I have to say about this film is unbelievably great education in filmmaking. When you see him take that close-up of the guy who seems to be peering through a window, and he says he looked in the mirror and he flips the shot. It's the same shot, right? What? You saw it, yeah. I mean, almost everything in film, somehow in his 14-minute film, is laid out, how it works. How you can cut up and back between the donkey and the stallion, even though the shot of the stallion is a zoomed-in close-up from a totally wide shot, you know, you see how film language works watching this film. It's just an extra benefit. And I love it. I love the film. This is a film very close to my heart. You probably can tell. But anyway.
And Jill,